What is going on, everybody? How you doing? Hope you're having a good week. I know it's been a while since I streamed. I do apologize, but tonight is a special stream because we got some great guests on here tonight. So we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about some things tonight. We're going to have some questions tonight. So I hope you all get involved. Hope you have a good time. So let's waste no more time. Let's bring in our guests here. We have Eddie and Kelly from president of 112 Chop Street and then founder of Oddfrog Entertainment. How you gentlemen doing tonight?
How's it going?
Doing well, doing well. How you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, you know, it's
Fantastic.
Tuesday.
Is it Tuesday?
Yeah, it's just
Weird day.
Already.
Well, it's nice to be here with everybody.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.
Oh, no, I appreciate you guys being on here with me, hanging out with me. For all my East Coasters, I know it's super late, and I know y'all probably catch us on a replay. Because for me, it's late because I'm on the East Coast.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And I appreciate it because I usually don't get home out here till 7 o'clock, and so I appreciate it.
Nah, no problem. I appreciate you guys. I thank you guys for coming on here.
Absolutely.
To my friends on here who just dropped in, we got Stryden who says, thanks for stream. Have to catch it on later at the replay. I'm about to go to work. We got my man Bart. And then we got my man Greg says, i.e. late night. Yes.
Late night raw.
What's up, guys?
We're live.
Or is it after dark? It's way after dark. So yeah. Usually at this point in time, I'm already like gaming and not even in bed. I don't go to bed till midnight anyway, so it doesn't even matter.
All right. I usually don't get to either. Yeah.
See?
We're all night owls here.
Yep. Burning the midnight lamp.
Yes, indeed. You got to. Sometimes, like, what was it? Like, recently, I was just putting together a model kit. And I was like, next thing I know, like, dang, it's midnight already? Like,
yeah.
Time's flying.
It's the only time you get for yourself sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're having fun, it really goes by fast.
Yes, indeed. So let's get we got Skydro Walker here.
What's up, Skydro?
Yeah.
So let's get into it.
Skydro just had the Bandito, by the way.
Oh,
yeah.
I did see his picture. I did see that picture. It looked good.
Back on the road again.
When he put dinosaurs on there, I was like, "What?" I would not have thought of that.
You know what? It reminds you of that old for those who do remember who are old, for us who are old, Cadillacs and dinosaurs.
Yeah, that's right.
Look, Eddie, I understand you just had to
I'll leave it at that. Never heard that one, but hey, if you guys know what Cadillacs and dinosaurs first.
Hey, and I thought it was pretty good. I think you can still watch it on Tubi.
I was gonna say, I think Skydro might have caught that reference, which is who knows? You know, he threw the dinosaurs in there. The Chevy's there.
There you go. Greg says, okay, quick question for you, don't just subject. Any of you curious or excited for Black Myth Wukong?
I gotta look into that.
Yeah, it looks like a good game. I don't know. I'll see. I've heard a lot of good things about it. It's basically based off of the Journey to the West.
Okay.
So it's kind of like based off that story for the game. But yeah, it's I'm trying to think. Like I haven't seen too much about it. I've only seen like the previews for it, Greg. So I don't know.
I think I saw some graphics. Graphics definitely have stepped up the game, but I gotta definitely look into that.
Yeah, I'm kind of a late bloomer when it comes to new games, just because Eddie and I both had our kind of noses to the grindstone with Oddfrog stuff. So, like, I'll play. I used to love Halo. Halo was my game for like 20 years. And then, the last one I really liked, the story and the single, the play through the game, story mode. And even at first, I thought the multiplayer was good. And then just tweaks and stuff they did to it over time really kind of hampered it and stuff. And we all shifted over to Fortnite, having not ever played that really before. And now we do that. So, yeah.
That's one game I can't get into is Fortnite.
Yeah. You know what you got to do? You got to shut off the fort building thing. If you shut off the fort building thing, it's just a shooter. And it's really fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
I may give it a try, but First Descendants got me right now. So I'm like,
nice.
it's almost like, man, grind. It feels like it, like they said, everybody says it's like Warframe, but it's just you're just grinding out parts.
Wow. Okay.
But it's fun. It is fun. Skyler says yes.
Oh, dude, he knew it.
What's going on? Northern Nomad says hola amigos.
Buenas noches.
Greg says Rad Brad started posting a playthrough series. Oh, dope. I might have to check it out and see. Your boys got toys says yo, what's going on? And Dead Man One says, what up, fellas?
What's up, Dead Man? That's our brother in arms.
Sorry. All right. So get into this. Big Nerd Zoic announced that he's going to be carrying your Bandito car on his shop.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations to that. First,
thank you very much. Thank you.
Step in the right direction.
There you go.
Yeah, Big Nerdy kind of gave us our first big break on distribution, and we're looking to get more distribution. Big Bad Toy Store wants us to come back when we get a little bit closer, but they've said positive things to us too. And so, yeah, I think now it's just a matter if we can get 4 or 5, distributors. We got Nerd Zoic, and we got a huge influx of orders over that week. And I'm sure he's been getting some. So it's really pushed us towards our goal. We're about a third of our way towards the goal right now. So or getting close to it.
And that's just on our own. That's not counting whatever orders he may have had, like as of to this point. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's been a long haul. We were a new company. Eddie and I are both single dads, basically. Work during the day, weekends and nights are all dedicated to creating our own products. The car, we can get into the car and how it came about. But we were doing a lot of contract work in the beginning when I worked for Mattel for a couple years. We both freelanced in the toy industry. Eddie's done work for Spin Master, and I've done work for Moose, stuff like that. But, a lot of those companies, if you're not freelancing and you work for them, they own all your ideas. Even when you go home and make stuff, like it's potentially theirs. Right. So it's always been my dream and Eddie's dream to just start our own company. And we did that at the end of 2021. And we were just looking for contract work. We did a couple design things. We designed a plush for the, I guess, LA Chargers now. But it was like a mascot. And we did like 500 units of those. So somewhere out there's 500 LA Chargers mascots with our logo on it, which is kind of cool. And then Eddie collected Mezco and stuff and got into the Instagram toy photography scene and was just looking through all of it. And at the time, nobody really seemed to be doing vehicles except for this one guy.
Which we could get into, if you had questions or whatever, but
yeah. So we reached out to him because his design, it wasn't a professional toy design car. It was basically like a Lightning McQueen, essentially. It was just a hollow shell. The doors didn't quite close properly. There was not really any interior to speak of, and just bars for wheels. It was very, very simple. And we reached out to him, saying, hey, if this is for toy photography and stuff, we can help you level up that design. So for about 2.5 months, we did a lot of design work for him, completely redesigned his car, scaled it up a little bit to actually fit the characters better. And when it came time to get payment for the design work that we had done, and we also had our engineer in Hong Kong do a lot of the stuff to car to make it work and little tricks with the buttons and stuff. So he kind of kept putting us off and saying, oh, it's a new bank account. It'll be about 2 weeks. So we're like, okay, no problem. And then 2 weeks goes by. Oh, it's going to be a couple more days for whatever reason. Okay, we wait. About a week goes by. I reach out to him and we hear nothing after that forever. We never heard from the guy again. I kept reaching out to him. I think we waited like 2 or 3 weeks before I ended up having to write a letter to the Big Bad Toy Store because we weren't going to give the guy our design. We hadn't been paid. And, so we wrote that letter where I explained that we're no longer going to be doing work for the 112 Garage. That's who the guy was. And that, the guy wasn't communicating with us. He owed us a lot of money And that even if he did follow through and pay us, at this time, it'd been about a month and a half since we'd heard from him. So I had no assurance that he could follow through on a production schedule. In the toy industry, if you're not kind of pushing it the whole way through and making sure things get done, they don't get done. And so that was a hard email to write. But we explained to him, we're going to design our own car and we'd still love an opportunity to work with you guys. And so that's kind of how we got into the 112 world and why we designed the car. That guy had his picture of his car up on Big Bad Toy Store, and we completely redesigned it, and that never even got to be out.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So kind of going with that too, because I did have him on here, and I did kind of boost him up, and I apologize to everybody that it was my fault for boosting him up because I thought he was legit. I thought it was somebody.
I mean, we all did. Yeah, we all did. Yeah.
Big Bad Toy Store did. We did. You did. How many people did he fool? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
exactly. And then I think he really left a bad taste in everybody's mouth.
Absolutely.
And then I guess when you guys came up, it kind of linked what happened with him kind of lingered over to you guys as well.
Yeah.
Which it was kind of for everybody on social media, it was kind of hard to discern, like, okay, if these are the guys that were involved with him, that means these are the same guys who took my money and I can't get them back. Because I have a friend who had issues, who had his money gone, who has money taken and never got it back.
Yeah.
I did try to get some of the people's money back. Unfortunately, I don't know who got theirs back.
I heard from a couple people commenting on our stuff that he did pay a couple people back, or some people.
Yeah, he had to pay me back because I would have.
Okay, so that's good. See, because again, he left. I understand the connection, the link. Obviously, we did design work for him, but again, just like everything else, he skipped out on paying us, which we then had to pay our designer out of our pockets, and then redesign the whole thing, and then had our prototype, the Bandido, made, which is different from what he had up there. And I mean,
which never even came out. Yeah,
you can find images. It's still online. His designs versus our design. The difference. People are like, it's the same design. It's not. It's a completely different car. The aesthetics have changed. The details have changed. It's bigger. It's better. I mean,
lights.
But yeah.
Well, it's not even the same model. It's a completely different car. So
okay.
Yeah.
And so kind of leading off of that too with I think when the Kickstarter happened, I think that negativity led into the Kickstarter where a lot of people did see the Kickstarter and were like, well, if it didn't go through the first time, why should I go back to Kickstarter? Which I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, may have hindered that as well as along the way.
Oh yeah.
I definitely think
it's still lingering. It's still hindering us till this day.
Yeah. Part of the reason we did the Kickstarter was to show people, like, we don't want your money. We want to get the car out.
Third party involved. Kickstarter would have got involved, held money, took a part of it. You know what I'm saying? That's why our goal was bigger. That's why we needed more funding.
Yeah.
But now we tried to, obviously it didn't happen. So now we scaled it down to where now we're trying to just secure pre-orders, no money down. Nerdzoic's kind of doing the same thing, but taking $1, which is a smarter way. And then you can invoice people. We're going on that faith-based people. Like you have your order placed, then we'll hit you with the email, and then you'll provide us with the card info, and then we'll go ahead and process payments that way, which is why we're trying to do it that way now.
Gotcha. And I guess with that too is, so I seen on the website that you guys were taking, orders without anything down. How does that work for you? And how is that saying, like, if I put an order in today, how does that work on your end where it's like, hey, you're not investing any money, but we need this many amount of people to pre-order it before we can put it in production.
So basically there's two ways to order. If you order through PayPal is going to take your money up front. But that option needs to be there because if people want to pay like in 4 payments and stuff, that PayPal allows that. But we built the free to pre-order based off just how PayPal would take your order, only without the payment option. So when we get it, it charges you the exact amount that you need for your car and taxes. If you live in the States, we're covering shipping. But for international shipping, the shipping price goes right into when you secure your pre-order. So you know exactly how much you're paying. And yeah. And then so what that does is it places everybody in order that they bought the unit in. So because we want to put a pink slip in there, we want to number the units. It's only 1,500 for the first run. So we want it to be like kind of a collector's item. And we want people to get them in the order that they got them in. Okay. Where the pink slip can be numbered and stuff.
So yeah, once you secure that pre-order, again, it's kind of more like now we have that your commitment to the pre-order. Once we get to our number, now again we'll send out that blanket email that says we're getting ready to charge. Can you, we'll get card information, and then that's when the funds are transferred.
Mm-hmm. And I do apologize. I forget what the turnaround time is. What's the turnaround time on it? And I think it was a little quicker than I expected it to be. And how do you make it so quick?
6 months. Yeah, we're shooting for summer of 20. We're shooting for a summer of 2025 release date, and hoping to secure our orders by the end of December, and maybe mid into January, because that allows us enough time to get it done by summer of next year. And it's about 155-day production time to build the car and ship it.
So it's all contingent on when we secure that 1,500. Say we miraculously secure 1,500 in the next couple of months. It's only going to be 6 months.
Yeah, it'd be out in February.
Yeah.
Nice, awesome. Yeah. Got a couple comments.
We go
here.
Get the tooling done. The model's ready. We got to get the tooling done. It might require a couple of changes to the model, but then again, we'll get another prototype and then the tooling, and then it should 6 months. It's usually the turnaround time. Yeah. From where we're manufacturing.
Dope. Okay. Couple comments here. We got one from Greg. Says something to keep in mind: futuristic combat soldiers just gave Independent makes a bit of a gut shot. They have major issues with their factory. It may be good to watch out for whatever happened.
I'll look into them. So they have some issues with their stuff. Okay.
Yeah, and Eddie and I dealt with some factory issues early on with the plush doll, where they kind of mess around with you, trying to get more money out of you and all sorts of stuff.
But it sounds like this was more like quality control issue or something.
Maybe this is the first I've heard.
Okay, maybe futuristic combat soldiers. I'll look into them.
So we're not really allowed to talk about the manufacturer we have right now because of our contract with them, but they're a well-known manufacturer. They just sent us another email that they're still manufacturing it, but please don't mention us and stuff like that. Just they're really big, and so that's fine.
We're just trying to secure our numbers.
But I will say, if that deal falls through, we have had a manufacturer the entire time we've been a company, and they're based out of Dongguan, China. And we got that manufacturer through one of our professors at the Arts Product Design School we graduated from, where he made promotional toys for like Taco Bell and McDonald's. So they've done millions and millions of units. They've made toys for 30 years. They're like family friends and stuff. And the engineer that we use was his engineer based out of Hong Kong. Yeah. So we kind of got grandfathered into this really great relationship with a long-term toy factory. Which is really helpful.
That has the capacity to push out, units.
Yeah, it's scary because even you can find stuff on LinkedIn and they're not always on the level. But that's a great point, and let's look into that for sure.
Yeah, buddy of mine was asking me about like the companies on LinkedIn where they trust me. I was like, look, I don't know because you're dealing with somebody over in China.
Yeah. See, some you may because of the connections they have. Like Kelly and I went to Otis, so a lot of people that are connected to us via Otis College are in the industry and have been for years. So they're connected to various specific companies and distribution centers and stuff like that are able to create tooling and manufacturing companies. And those are the kind of people that we link up. It's like not just random people that you can find. It's like connections of people who are in the industry and work for Mattel, Spin Master, and you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
It's more like a secondhand connection instead of just a random. Let me look through the
Yellow Pages and it's fine.
Exactly. I was just gonna say
Yellow Pages.
The Google. Let me just Google a company somewhere. Like, yeah.
Sorry.
But yeah, we are aware that there's issues with manufacturing, you know. So
that's why we tried to do, we have, again, that's why we have two options right now, and we're trying to secure that first option first with our 1500. But if all thing goes well, then that's where we're going. But if not, we have plan Bs, and so it's all good.
Yep.
Awesome. Grace says, it's nice to hear more about what happened with 112 Garage. I know it sat in many people's memory, and that brought that issue back into our minds.
Absolutely, man. We're just trying to clear the air. We understand, again, like Kelly stated earlier, we're just, single fathers from Southern California trying to make, we were talking about it, pre-show, like we're just trying to make it in the toy industry. We're just trying to live our lives and make things happen and, live our dreams. And, as much as we've collected and spent time with toys, making them, creating them and making others enjoy them would be, something to check off.
Definitely. We were naive and we were super excited, and we were like, wow, this is, this guy's already got an established community. So we were like, yeah, we're going to build the car. We can make a much better car. And we were excited to get our name out there too. But it just is devastating to us when he just started not getting back to us, because over that 2.5 months, we did about $6,500 worth of design work that we billed him for. I still have the invoice for it.
Wow.
And then
that's not counting the prototype.
Right. Ooh. So we had our engineer make everything function and add lights and stuff like that. And then when he didn't pay us, if we wanted to keep our company alive, we had to pay him another $3,500 to settle up with what we had done for his car. And then we had to redesign the car
to look what it looks like now, and then had that prototype, and that was all Oddfrog Entertainment after that point.
So it has taken a while, to do all that, and that's really a large degree. And it definitely zapped a lot of our confidence when that happened, and we started hearing back from people in the community that thought we had taken anything from anybody. And it's just like, what do you do? Who do you approach? How do you go and get it out there that we just literally did contract work for the guy for 2.5 months, and here it is 2.5 years later, and it's still, hindering
the business,
getting the car out to market.
Yeah. Right. And like I said, I understand with most people, because like I said, I was part of that. And I think and that's why I wanted to invite you guys on, because I wanted to talk about it, because it's still lingering with some of us, like what happened previously before. Mm-hmm. Some of us still are feeling slighted, and there's others who did not know anything about it and are super excited, which is awesome. I'm happy for that. I'm glad they have that excitement. But for us who already know, we were just like, is this something that we put our money into? Are we going to get, or our money, is our money going to get taken away again?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that was the main question, what most people had on mind from when I did interviews with 112 Garage and had him on and did other stuff with him and was kind of promoting him. And it was like, man, you just slapped me in the face, and you slapped everybody else who I was telling you about in the face.
Yeah. 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 I mean, we started our podcast because we saw on Instagram that Aaron, a guy that had worked with him trying to track orders and all this stuff, was defending us. We had never even met the guy. So I reached out to him like, hey, would you come on a podcast with us and tell us the story? We'd like to know more what happened. Yeah. So that's on our channel too, the very first episode.
This guy used to write emails for him. So he was heavily involved with the whole operation. I'm assuming he's the one who wrote emails between 112 Garage and like the Big Bad Toy Store, because this guy, like I used to talk to the guy from 112 Garage a lot on a daily basis. And, so he would tell me things. Oh, this guy, Aaron's writing this guy, Big Bad Toy Store wants to do this. They want exclusivity. They want this. I have emails, back and forth from this guy, you know what I'm saying? And then even before that, though, we didn't get involved until he started trying to produce the car. Prior to that, wasn't he working on some sort of Batman vehicle that apparently he got a cease and desist from WB or something, and he had threats against him. I remember him telling me about threats, and I was like, man, that's a lot. So apparently he stopped that and tried to do the car. That's when we came in, you know what I'm saying? That's when we came into the picture. But it's like he was established before us, and I'm not sure how what his plan for manufacturing was, but he was offering crazy deals. those vans and the cars at the prices he was buy one, get one for like $10. Like, I'm not like, and then once we got involved, we were like, this isn't profitable. We showed them. I mean, again, we studied this. We went to school. We did the design. We 4 years at Otis College, art and design. You know, we have our degrees in product design, emphasis in toys. So like, we know what it takes to go from a sketch, a concept, an idea to production, to development, to the design work, to what you need, the tooling, to what you need to market it, to sell it, to make it even profitable. We can break it all down. And this guy was like,
we're still learning about the marketing part, obviously.
We are, the marketing, but as far as trying to develop, you know what I'm saying? We spent the years trying to I don't know, it was just a lot. And he was like, yeah, so just to be still trying to shake that is a whole level of stress that is, it's almost to the point that it's been unbearable at times, but we're still here grinding. Our faces are still here. We're still trying to develop stuff. I mean, you can look up my information, my credentials. We're not hiding. So
yeah, we're not changing the brand. It's like, no, this is who we are. We had nothing to do with that. And I'm not going to change my brand just because people think that we did. I mean, I feel, first of all, that would be the cowardly thing to do. But at the same time, we did nothing wrong, and I'm sticking with my brand.
Absolutely.
And, if the car for some reason doesn't work out, I mean, we're still doing it a year and a half later. And we set up a system where we could just take orders until it gets to the proper amount. And let me just discuss for a minute why we need that number. So the 1,500 units, basically, we need a lot of money for the tooling. What the tooling is each part on the car has to have a negative cavity carved out of aluminum that it can then, two parts, that then it comes together and it's injected with hot ABS plastic, and that's what forms each and every piece of the car. Now, an 18 3/4 inch long car is an expensive block of aluminum to cut and make and polish
precisely
and make it precise. And we have 76 pieces to the car because it's designed to be pulled apart and put back together and customized and added kits onto it and stuff like that. So we needed all those pieces in the car to make everything work and customizable. So part of that tooling, part of that 1,500, the money adds up to what we need for the tooling. The rest of it is what I need to get it shipped here on crates from China. And then the rest after that is to ship to individual units.
Gotcha.
Collectors.
Hey, look, I appreciate that because that's a good breakdown. I like that.
Absolutely.
Because, a lot of us who are collectors, some of us don't know what's going on behind the scenes. And like, okay, why is this like so much money and why is this so much amount? Why you charging this much? And with that, it gives us a little bit more introspective of like, okay, so it's this and this and this. Like this part's broken down, this part's broken down. Yeah. So when you break it down with the price of that, and what has to be done. Yeah. And I'm sure like everything has a cost. It has a cost to it. Yeah. It's like what they say, like back in the day, what CDs used to be like 2 cents. Yeah. But we were paying like $12.99 for a CD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, well, make it make sense. It's like, well, you gotta recoup that cost.
Yeah. You gotta pay the artist.
Yep.
Yeah, the manufacturer has to tool the both parts of the CD. That's a 2-part mold on each one. And
design,
then you got to pay the people to put it together.
You got to pay the artists who did the paperwork, the printers, who did the pamphlets, the lyrics. When you break it down, it's, everything costs.
Yeah, and so like with the Kickstarter, we were trying to go for 4,000 units. That would have made our company and built the next vehicle that we wanted to build without us having to go crowdfund as much. So that's why we had so many units then. When we decided, okay, we just want to get this car to market and get it into people's hands. No profit, nothing. Let's just strip it of everything. And that's where we came up with the 1,500 units. There's a couple $1,000s in there, 10, 15 or so. That's like
in case we need more units.
That's just to be careful. And even on top of that, I'm going to be taking out a business loan for money to just sit there in case there's returns or any kind of thing that needs to be dealt with. Because what we really want to do as a company is find that sweet spot where you switch on a product, where you switch from design to customer experience. I mean, every business thing I've ever seen that is successful is about the customer experience. We're really well aware of that. We've designed a nice collector's box for it. And we're really trying to do this right. Like I said, we're just two, small business guys that think the bigger companies aren't paying attention to the right marketplace and could do better.
Gotcha.
I've been in rooms at Mattel with 60 people, all getting paid over $100,000 a year, and they can't make a decision. Our toys aren't expensive for that reason.
Look,
that's theirs.
I'll put it this way: no matter what business you're in, and no matter what big company you're with, there's always somebody who thinks they know more than you.
Yeah.
Because I work in IT, and I've been in those meetings, but like, hey, we should do here and do this. Nah.
Yep.
Nah.
Yep.
And then what happens later on? Well, we run into an issue, people.
Yeah.
Remember I told you about this like 6
now
months
you gotta
ago?
backtrack and then do what
Yeah.
you
Not to mention the
we're
6
doing.
months of money they wasted paying people making decisions like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. And they do all sorts of, cold calling, and they have parents come in and they question everybody. And it's like, man, just get in, have somebody on the team get into the community and be talking to the community and see.
That's how we started. Yeah.
Dead Man talks about this all the time. It's like, if they were in the community, you would hear what people are wanting. And that's all we did with the car.
Right. Well, I'll say this. It's good to have somebody in the community, but make sure it's the right person.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure. We know that story with 112 Garage,
Well, not even that. It's just like, we say what we know, we think we want, but then is it really feasible sometimes?
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Sometimes, like, look, I say things, I'm like, hey, I wish they could do this and this. And I'm like, is it really feasible? Like, I take, for example, when we say, like, hey, wish Hasbro would do a Blackbird. Yeah, you're not going to fit a Blackbird. You're
right.
Not
It'll be huge. It's going to cost them much. If you want it to be a shell, then you might afford it. Nobody's going to do it. But if you want it to be a Blackbird worth of a Marvel Legends with this, and that.
And, that's why we justified actually making a car that's so expensive. We wanted to aim for toy photography, and then we wanted to expand the lifespan of the car by then selling kits, aftermarket kits to the car, where you can really customize a car. You can make it a lowrider, Mad Max, whatever you want to do. We'll take ideas, because that doesn't cost us nearly as much after the car is made to make those parts. So we thought, okay, we want to trick it out with everything we possibly can. No sound in it, anything like that. Just literally details for toy photography. If you've seen stuff from like Insightful Imagery on Instagram, he has one of those long extended lenses. And he got right into the car, up on the dashboard with like money on the seat and a bandit in the front seat of the Bandito. And it's like, that is what it's for.
Just real quick. So if you are doing some kits, how about, you get a windshield or broken glass where I can have a dude stick through it? Like,
it's all in my head already. But we have it. Like, it's just, what I'm saying? It's, I guess, you want like Kelly was saying earlier, like, or, when we talk about pricing, right? If you look at the 112 vehicle scene, or the term we're trying to coin with our vehicle, which is action vehicles, an obvious play on action figures, the articulation, the accessories, the kits. So action vehicles, if you look at our price, we originally a few years ago set our price at $185, and you can see, we can backtrack, and you can look now that at the market, when other companies started releasing vehicles similar scale, you had Ramen Toys, Valivert. Go look at their prices right now. I mean, their prices are, if not in the same range as ours, almost the same. Like, what I'm saying? It's like,
one of them was $84.99 months after we did our price. So, yeah. And we literally just based ours off of our manufacturer breakdown of per unit cost, tooling, and then what it would cost to get it on a ship and ship it to people. And it was literally came out of that. In fact, we had our car before the Engine of Vengeance, and we had no idea that car was going to drop. We had our price tag and everything. That car drops for $300 or whatever it was. And we're like, I felt like I had made a terrible mistake in our pricing. And Eddie and I took like 2 weeks to go back over every number.
We did. We looked at
why is it that much?
But again, they wanted 10,000 units. I don't know what kind of, they wanted 9. I don't know what it was, but it was like,
I think more it was like
9,000.
to cover the cost of the car and the 4 figures that we were getting with it.
Yeah, that would have covered it. And then again, the licensing, you got to pay licensing fees.
And the rooms full of 60 people making decisions on everything that happens. Yeah. It gets expensive that way. Just my seat here.
No, you good. Deadman,
thank you, Deadman.
The Bandito is years ahead of that.
Yeah.
Grace says, I hadn't compared the models, just linked the 2 cars together. It's good to know that it's 2 different things entirely.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Your boy Got Toy says, a pink slip is a fun idea.
Thank you. Thank you.
Collector's pink slip comes with the year of the car, the year it was made, all that.
Deadman says, Greg, the Bandito is awesome. So go check out the photos from First Strike Figs, insightful full imagery, Thor 2012, Skydra Walker, and next up is Chute _ MI 91.
MI 91. Yep.
Okay.
And it's literally on his way to him right now. I just sent the shipping label yesterday or today. I don't know. It's been busy, but I think it was yesterday.
Greg says, question for with the 112 issue and then Kickstarter, why continue with the Bandito as your first to customers product instead of focusing on another product first to build positive reviews before the Bandito?
A couple reasons. The first one being, like, once we got behind pitching the Syndio, I believe it was called, we told everybody we were going to build a car. We didn't know he took money from people. Otherwise, we probably wouldn't have called our brand the 112th Street Chop Shop. It's too close. We had no idea. We actually wanted people from his community to come over to ours because we were going to continue to build the car. So we wanted to fulfill that promise before we really knew there was all this bad blood.
And that's when the market was starting too.
We had put, like I said, over $9,000 into this by the time he didn't pay us for our design, and we had paid out to our engineer. Yeah. So there was the entire car had to be redesigned, but none of the engineering really did. So, we had already paid for that, and our engineer worked with us to because he knew what happened, to get us a new redesign. But yeah, we were about $9,000 into it at that point, and we didn't know there was such bad blood. So we're like, we're going to do it ourselves. Yeah. And
we're just trying to stick to our word, keep our promise. Before thing got hazy, and as you say, shit hit the fan, we were like, we're going to make this car. The community was all on board. The hype was all there. It was all there. The stage was set to have this thing roll out with its grand entrance, you could say, you know what I'm saying? Until he went ahead and vanished, and then boom, the scene was set. You had that failed Engine of Vengeance. You had Ramen trying to put his Halloween car out. Then you had Battleverse, and that's like the stage was set. So I understand, it makes sense, and we're working on other things that we plan on releasing, but letting go of the Bandito was, again, not an option after having invested $9,000 into it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it. Once you invest in something, you feel like it can be made and it can be put out there by people, by you yourself, to people that you want to get it to their hands. Mm-hmm. It's like that's your baby. You don't want to let it up. Like, you don't want to let it go. That's your idea. You want to see it come to fruition.
Well, not only that, there was part of us that were just like, we're going to fight through this. And it has made us stronger as a company to just continue to push the idea, to continue to build our brand and to reach out to people and hopefully change minds. You can't just fold all the time. And sometimes you got to fight for things. And that's literally kind of, we were all depressed for like the first month. And then finally we got the fire in our belly and we're like, screw it. We're going to do it ourselves. And so, yeah, it's kind of just what we did. And I think over the long haul, it's like going to battle together. It's made us stronger as working together, business partners. And, we know now that if you're going through hell, keep going.
Exactly.
That dedication and perseverance is going to pay off. We're still here. We're pushing forward. And we,
Definitely.
Oh, we don't take it that way at all, Greg. we have tried to be an open book. So, like, the entire time, to the point where some of our ideas have been incorporated into other companies' products. So it's like, no, we're happy to talk about it. Happy to answer all these questions. And yeah, totally. bring them, you know. But I appreciate that.
Yeah, and like I said, none of this is just more of like trying to understand like what's going on.
No, and that's why we're here, man.
And have people understand like, okay, so what happened? What's different now from then? That we should be like, okay, we can back this. All right, we know that person's gone. All right, no dealing with that. This is a whole new. We're dealing with different people, whole new thing, starting brand new. Let's start over and fresh.
Yeah, and I mean, going off what you said, it's like I would hope people would recognize that at this point we aren't going to quit. We will keep fighting until it is just made impossible for us to do. But this is our dream, and we don't quit easily. And we want to get you what we think is the best product on the market when it comes to a 1/12 scale vehicle. I mean, we put our heart and soul into it over the last 2 years. And, that's the bottom line. We think that once we put it in people's hands, which is why Dead Man came up with the great idea of doing the tour, people will understand what it is that we're trying to create. And I think they are, especially the people that have gotten it in their hands, are starting to see like it's not a toy necessarily. It is, but it's meant for customizers and toy photography from the get-go. So I would just say we're not going to quit. We don't want your money. If you pre-order now with an actual intention to purchase once we get to number, like we're not going to let you down. Absolutely not.
Oh, that's good to hear. That's what I wanted to hear. That's what I really wanted to see. It's like, hey, we're doing this. We're gonna make it. We're not here just to grab money and just run with it.
No,
we're actually gonna come out with a product that is going to be in your hands, and you're going to hopefully enjoy it.
Most definitely.
We have a comic book that is going to be coming out next year with all of our own characters. We've already prototyped one of the action figures. 2 more of them are being sculpted now. And
you can see those on our Instagram.
Your money is not our dream. These stories and this business and this brand is our dream. And we don't need to rip people off. There's plenty of money in the industry, and there's plenty of margin to build toys correctly and keep your company somewhat small and geared towards this niche, at least in this department of that toy company.
Right.
So, we're really here to just live me and Eddie's dreams, which is building toys for people that like to play with the same stuff we do,
Exactly. What's going on, Toy Box of Doom? Joining us tonight.
What's up?
Your boy said Toy says, I'm actually rearranging the toy room right now to make space for the new Batmobile.
Which one? Nice. The animated or the new?
It's Atomic Frog. We don't talk about Toddy Hitmac here. Toddy
nonsense. We already got shut down on Todd.
The Todd is it's a spiteful man. Spiteful man.
Fans of his art, but a lot of the community loves him. At the same time, a lot of them hate him. But
they don't understand.
If you don't have haters, they say you're not doing something right. But hey,
they'll wake up to see what's going on with Toddy Mac. He's fooling you.
By the way, Eddie, Buzz just ordered us a 1/12 scale old school Batmobile from the old TV show with 2 figures in it. So I think it was Hasbro that built it a couple years ago. But wow. We thought it would be cool to like put next to the Bandito.
That'd be dope.
Yeah.
Greg says, for another kid, look at Buffy, Supernatural, etc. fandoms and make cool trunk accessories.
I love that idea.
We have plenty of trunk space. We have some designs where you can swap out the engine for other things, other accessories. But again, like we've spoken with other companies prior to trying to get into manufacturing, and we see some of our ideas being incorporated into their ideas. So it's kind of hard to talk about things that we want to develop because
we've learned the hard way.
We've learned the hard way. So yeah, but kits. We have kits where the bumper exposes something else. Like
the hood may be crushed in for a dude to lay on, like he fell, stuff like that.
Things like that. But we definitely have. A lot of these ideas can easily be incorporated. You know what I'm saying? That's why we're here for the community to try to incorporate these ideas. We can, one of my ideas is to try to do polls. You know what I'm saying? What kind of kit would you like? What would you like once we develop that huge fan base, let them develop the product. Let them have input in the development of the product. How much, that's
That's why we made it a blank canvas for customizers. It's a matte black ABS, high impact ABS. So when you pull it out of the box, the color and the texture is a matte black, ready to accept whatever paint you want to put on it, or it's just a cool black.
Okay.
Oh. It's meant to accept your custom paint. Plus, we have a line on decals and stuff like that that will fit the car that have almost like special effects and holographic effects on it and stuff. So that can be cool towards the supernatural stuff. You know, we had stayed away from that a little bit just because of the Engine of Vengeance. But now that you said that, like, and I'm thinking Skydro Walker, like the whole Ghostbusters things come to mind, which is completely different color palette and stuff. So
exactly.
I like that idea a lot.
There you go. Scott says, having hands-on time with the Bandito, this would be a game-changing experience for toy photography. This is an artist project for artists.
Man,
thanks, Skydro.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Let's see. Your boys got toy says the cost breakdown y'all provided was very helpful.
Good.
Awesome.
I appreciate that. That's, we're here to try to be as transparent as possible and give you as much information. And like I said, try to have the community as involved with the production, as possible. That would be amazing.
There you go. Greg has another question. Have you considered making decals people could apply for paint jobs, racing stripes, burn, paint rub, bullet damage, etc.?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So,
if you just go and you look on our Instagram or the 112th Street Chop Shop,
scroll down,
you'll see we had an incident with our prototype where it kind of broke and we had to take it apart and rebuild it ourselves. So I primed it black at one point. I sanded it. I made it look like it had bullet holes along the doors. I lowered it to look even lower. You know what I'm saying? The customization aspect is what it's for. And again, if you follow the 112th Street Chop Shop or Oddfrog Entertainment, you'll see what you can actually these shots,
Yeah, here I'll show you a little bit about
colors,
the idea of customization.
Hood, applying different paints, different stripes, different rims, trims on the
leather on the seats if you want.
That was custom box. It fits up to 4 figures and 4 mesh codes inside. The trunk can fit 2 to 3 bodies in there. It's
a big trunk, which everybody seems to be surprised about. But First Strike Figs says it's such a great opportunity for toy photography after he got his hands on it and started thinking about it. So that was kind of an eye-opener.
There's one of the shots. Primer black, bullet holes all on the side. You had this Doc Knock Cholo looking dude over here. And it's, that's the whole purpose. Try to tell your own story. We have kits that'll make it look futuristic. That was sort of inspired by sci-fi
Back kids
to the future.
From the Turtles, like Neutrino Kids, little jet car.
Right.
Jet ends, whatever it may be, it's meant to be a blank canvas. And then the kits extend the playability, the life, the customizability. Earlier you mentioned working on a kit, sometimes you want to sit there and do stuff and tinker, and you can do it with the Bandito. You can apply paint, you can change the rims, you can do different tires, different rims, different brake calipers. We're trying to break it down as detailed as possible.
Now our dashboard is loaded with light.
Now real quick about this.
Sure.
Are the tires? So I was going to ask: are the tires removable? Like you can just have them off?
Yeah. The tires are removable.
Okay.
So the tires are also separate from the rim. So it's a tire and a rim, and they come off. And
and it'll have soft rubber-like tires.
Yep. Okay. Gray says, "Do the front tires turn left and right?"
Yes, they do.
There you go.
Not by turning the steering wheel. It's extra step. You need the extra mechanism, the extra but it's you'll need tooling, you'll need gears. But
we had considered turning the wheel with the steering wheel, but the extra cost in engineering it would have been too expensive. It's several extra parts that have to all work together that are also kind of fragile. So we saw potential problems down the line with it. And for toy photography, you're not really going to be seeing that movement. So
just put the hands on the wheels, turn the wheels, whatever.
Yeah, this is Skydro. Holy cow, man!
Why you ship to this dude? Skydro don't need nothing. Should ship to the big.
This is all practical, practical effects. That's so rad.
But yeah, that's right. I'm hating on Skydro right now. That's right. I'm hating on right now. Hate.
Skydro took it to another level. He needs to.
They all did, really. It's such different flavors everybody's had, really.
Yeah, insightful imagery. He was the one, courtesy of, he helped us with our promo pics or like our official pictures we have up there that we're using to sell it, or I can't even think of the word. But yeah.
Product shots.
Product shots. Oh my God. Yeah, he helped us.
For you. Here we go. All right. I have the Mattel Batmobile from the Batman. Hold on. Got the Batman.
Yeah.
So let's just say you're feeling generous. You send it over. I can do the scene where he's walking up to it, flipped over.
Oh, you know what? We're basically putting anybody that wants the car in touch with Deadman. As a company, we're paying to have it shipped around. We're, I think, a little over halfway through the tour that's going on now. But I mean, we're more than happy to extend it to people that want to be a part of it. And
there's more people we want to send it to that have bigger, audiences that are like that the right people that you would consider.
Yeah, we've got I think King is getting on the next list and stuff like that.
Otaku Lens. If you look up Otaku Lens, he's asked for it as well, and we're trying to get it out to as many people as possible to prove that the proof of concept is there, that it works, and we're trying to make it happen.
There's one guy that's here, this gentleman right here, Matthew Toy. He would do some amazing stuff with it too.
Okay. Private message, either me and Eddie on Instagram, and it's kind of like first comes first serve, and then we've also had to kind of say from time to time, like when Nerdzoic wanted it, we had to pause everybody to get it to him because that would be such a huge step for us. So don't be offended if something like that happens. We really are trying to get it to everybody, but obviously the quicker we get the car out, whatever furthers that goal is kind of what we prioritize.
Yeah.
Gotcha. No, it's fine. I'm just joking.
It's a business. I know.
We'd love to get it to you, Dante. We'd love to. Like, it's probably got another 2 months out on the road, and then we're going to bring it back, make sure it's all good, maybe, put new wheels on it or something.
We have some things lined up, too, that, hopefully
some cons and stuff like that we need.
But, we have some things lined up, and First Strike Figs just did a whole article and gave us credit, and,
Oh, nice.
First Strike Figs, again, he's doing his thing in the toy photography scene, and, he loved it, so... Again, it's meant like Skydro said. It's it's for artists, man. We're all artists in our own unique way. Whether you customize, whether you take
look
pictures.
At the colors in that.
I love the way he illuminated that trunk. I don't know what he threw in that trunk, what kind of light, but then he threw the smoke, and it's like, man.
Eddie, you just reminded me of an important part. On the bottom of our switch for the lights, we're only using one port out of 4. So there's 4 other ports on the switch that you can add your own custom lights to. At one point for our lowrider prototype, Eddie did a ground effects on it. You can do an interior cab light. We'll be like providing all that stuff after market. But we have 3 prongs left on the switch for your own lights for whatever you want to do.
Mm-hmm. All right.
That's if you want to take it to the next level. I had to kind of soldering on the fly. And
it wasn't just us. Sorry to interrupt, Eddie, but there was people along the way that would throw out suggestions, and we would just have to incorporate them and make stuff like that work, and they would change, and it wasn't always the same or wasn't the same at all, but like it gave us ideas like, if we're going to put lights in it, let's leave it a little open-ended in case they want to attach their own. Like customization and toy photography is what we designed it for.
We got a question here from Greg. I'm looking on the YouTube too. I don't mean to
I know you're good. I was going to bring it up.
There you go, that one. Your battery is location is not through the undercarriage. So you actually, in fact, open the hood, you lift the engine, and then you pop the battery cap off, and 2 AAA batteries sit right under the engine. Gosh. And the way you turn on the lights, you actually press the battery of the car.
Yeah, the car
battery. Located in the front right part of the car, like the actual battery. Like a car has it. Yeah. It's a switch, and that's what turns on the battery.
So the car battery actually runs the on and off electricity for the car. And what's nice about the 2 batteries being under the engine, and this isn't really for toy photography, but when you hold it, it's got this real I don't know about realistic, but it's balanced out real well because the engine weight is where the batteries are. So it's just kind of a cool, tactile effect.
Oh, all right. Yeah, there's a bunch of pictures on there. Go ahead. I'm sorry, man.
That's Thor. That's got to be Thor.
Yeah. Well, this is one of the reasons why I wanted to have you guys on here to explain a little bit more to us. And you've done an excellent and amazing job at this.
And Dante, you and your community have asked great questions. And like I said, we want to talk about everything. So we really appreciate it. And we appreciate the opportunity to be on here.
Oh, this is good for me because, like, now that I know more about it, I'm ready to go pre-order, like put my name down for order right now.
That's so fantastic, that's what we want to hear. Thank you.
And I wanted to touch on something you mentioned earlier, like the vehicle, right? You know, I know it's like a lingering effect, the whole history with it, but every new person who comes into contact or finds out about it or realizes what we're trying to do with no prior history, like they love the product, they think it's amazing, they're all for it. You know, we've been on a few podcasts where nobody was aware of it, and it was like people were like, man, this thing is amazing. We got it's, you know, it's just a lingering effect that's going to be there. But in the long run, we want to do more than just vehicles. You can scroll down, you'll see those, like there's the Oddfrog, you'll see panels of the comic book. Oh, that picture there, that was, yeah, oh my God.
Which one?
That one, oh no, you can see that Pink Skulls picture. I'm just a huge fan of that one right there, man. Oh man, that's the one they featured in that magazine that he showed.
Oh, that is dope.
It looks like, I mean,
it looks real. It's like, wow, that's so cool.
Greg also asks, interesting, have you considered an option for shelf displayers? That is a way to plug it into a USB-C to supply continuous power, ignoring the batteries, not intended for battery charging.
Yeah, so we had thought about that.
But how long are you really going to run the batteries? Are you going to put, like, how long are you going to leave them? I don't know.
I think it's definitely
a possibility.
A possibility in the future, because what people have to understand is, like, once we get the tooling made, we can do things to cavities in the tooling to put parts in there to retool it essentially. For us as a small company, we weren't really prepared to take the risk to put an extra component in there that could go bad or maybe potentially not last as long as we wanted it to, where we knew if we just went with good old AAA batteries, you know, you could always just throw batteries into it. So, you know, in the future, we probably are going to look at stuff like that just because it's kind of cool. And like you said, it's like having an Xbox controller that you can plug in when your batteries die. But just with all the stuff that happened along the way, you know, and then Ramen did it. So if we did it, it kind of seemed like an afterthought. But at the end of the day, I just want to provide a good customer experience for the next part of this. And I just felt like I don't want to put any kind of technicalities in there that could potentially be a problem for launching or, you know, a year from now. Right. So hopefully that's not a lame excuse, but it just ended up being that the good old tried and true AAA that you could take in and put out to fix your problem seemed like the simplest way to go for us at the time. But that being said, of course, we are looking at that because it would be a nice feature.
Yeah, and I get that as well. And as starting up, you kind of start like, hey, what can we do just to kind of keep the cost under? And just for right now, get it to do what we need to do.
Yeah,
which makes sense. And I do apologize for pronouncing your name wrong. Adrian?
Thank you.
I look like it.
I think so.
We thought it was a really creative way to turn the car lights on, and that is 100% our engineer, Johnny Wong in Hong Kong. I'll try to provide a link to Johnny's art portfolio at some point, but he's an amazing designer and engineer, and he was the one that added the on and off switch. He was like, "Oh, this is great. What can I do to it?" We're like, "Have fun with it, bro. If we don't like anything, we'll take it out or have you remove it."
The initial design, the concept, the idea. We want on and off switch lights, this, and that, and he has free range.
And he's passionate about American muscle cars, so like a lot of stuff he just threw in for us and did a lot of cool design things for us. So
nice.
It's definitely a passion project.
Machu says continuous charge is a good option for photography.
Okay. Good to know.
I think mostly because
you just want to leave it on while you prep the shot. And
that too, because I'm kind of going based off of like the Mattel RC Batmobile, where it has a USB-C charger at the bottom. You just plug it in. So you really don't see it's out of sight and out of mind until you really have to charge it. But it is kind of nice. The only drawback with that one is you have to hit the stick, the controller,
the little remote, right?
Yeah, to make everything like kind of like light up like it's supposed to.
Okay. Huh.
So.
Oh, I see what you're saying. It's on the cord or whatever.
Yeah, it's on the because it's an RC car, so it's on the remote
control.
Oh, so,
I got you. Okay,
I don't have it up here. It's downstairs, but it's cool. Like it's on the control. Like it's on like so. If I hit the RC controller, I think it's still up here. I don't know where I put half this stuff anymore. But on the RC controller, like you click it, and then it kind of like lights up. Like you have to kind of relight it. So it is. I can see where folks would want to have it like be able to have it recharged. Sense. He says I hate when lights die in the middle of a shoot.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, that's what I figured.
Change the batteries.
No, that makes way sense. And
change the batteries. I mean, how hard can it be? No,
how hard can it be?
Makes sense. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's batteries after batteries after batteries after being able to just plug it in and charge. Yeah, of course.
Here we go. Why? Can't we just have a program without some AOA nonsense?
Can I get one of these AOA graphics?
No, you don't need. He doesn't know what Robert doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Don't listen to him. He's speaking nonsense right now.
Okay.
He's speaking nonsense. There's no AOA. There's no AOA. There's no AOA. Nobody knows what AOA is, Rob. So it's cool. It's cool. Oh, Chris, that's what's the largest figure?
That is a fantastic question, Eddie. What we've crammed McFarlane figures in there. Yeah. Oh, here's the other thing. At least for now, one of the design things we have is a section of the back seat is removable, which gives you like an extra 1.5 inches of clearance on the bottom half of the seat to fit bigger characters. And the front seat and the back seat are on magnetic sliders. So they slide back and forth for bigger to smaller characters. And the seats are removable as well if you wanted to fit really giant characters in there. But
you take the seat out. But
what would you? I don't think we've gotten a He-Man in there yet, but we put some pretty big things in there.
A few of the bigger Joes.
Yeah,
and, many Mezcos fit well. You know, your average human-sized, Mezcos. But it's intended to be like 6.5 to 6 3/4, and not. The Chevelle, it's based off of Chevelle as well. So it is a smaller coupe vehicle. If you were really to stand next to it in perspective, keep it in the real world aspect. We had contemplated, making it a little bigger, but even, Skydro Walker, the last one who just had it, he was like, he thinks the size is perfect. So we will keep tabs about that. And if the size seems about right, then there's no reason to make it bigger or anything. But I mean, yeah, we've thought about many things.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Then here's another trouble making unboxing art. Good Lord. They know of my disdain for Age of Apocalypse.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And they just want to come in here and troll me for this disdain of this Age of Apocalypse because everybody loves Age of Apocalypse and I cannot stand Age.
The movie?
I just can't stand the whole comic series.
The whole thing?
The whole comic series of Age of Apocalypse. I thought it was trash. It was horrible. It was just the worst X-Men story ever written.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the movie, that's for sure. I think I have like 2 or 3 Age of Apocalypse. I was just starting to get out of them right when that started happening.
Good. You didn't miss any. You didn't
dodge the bullet.
You didn't miss much. There wasn't much to see. Greg says I can just picture Hightower from Police Academy. Yo, if somebody makes some Police Academy figures,
oh, that's great. I don't want to talk about police anything too much, but let's just say what we want to do is continue the story of the Bandito with the next vehicle or vehicles, right? Like, so we want allied vehicles that you can switch parts and guns off of. You can imagine maybe a minigun turret that could be on, say, a Punisher style van that would also fit in the engine compartment of the Bandito or something like that. Just little hints. But we've thought about, that chase element too.
Gotcha.
There you go.
For story. Where I would say one thing, Eddie knows this about me. Ever since the inception of Oddfrog, we want to create story. So, yeah.
So, you know, if you have story, you got one car, you need more cars, you know?
Definitely. Exactly. Never can have just too many cars. Art says, now, if this car is successful, will we see a subway car?
Yeah, the subway car. I know everybody's really adamant about the subway car that was teased by 112 Garage. You know, I have.
It wouldn't be that subway car.
Right. But I was going to say, I have designs that we showed him that we worked on that we probably should not mention or show, but we have designs for subway cars, 112 scale that, you know, that open up specific ways that you're able to display really cool and you know.
Imagine the customizability with the Bandito in a similar thing like that.
Yeah, I can see that.
We'd want you to be able to have a blank enough canvas that you could do different time periods and stuff. So that's the real challenge that we're working on with something like that now.
Yeah, I can see. I can see you being a subway car, being like having like being in your collection, have fun with it. But then it's like, all right, like I can only use this for like so many shots, and then I'm like, all right.
I mean, and you can definitely. Doesn't necessarily have to be a whole subway car. You know, like
right.
The front end, the back end, the half. You know what I'm saying? There's various ways to make it fit on the shit and make it fit that shelf space and provide the shot required. Whether it's enclosed, whether it's, you know, play set esque, which we've had the Bandizo described as more like a play set. Once you start setting it up, it starts to become a play set, and you know,
exactly.
You have figures in it, around it, things inside of it, and it, you know, it becomes more than a vehicle.
And then you can always recreate the Spider-Man scene from Spider-Man 2.
You can.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that would, yeah. I mean, I really don't want to talk too much. I'm going to get in trouble with Dead Man 1 if I talk too much about stuff. So, but like, you know, we want to honor what we set out to do. And yeah, that involves a couple of different styles of vehicles for sure.
Grace says, if you make a 2000s Ford Police Cruiser, people will probably flip.
Okay, 2000s. We were thinking like Blues Brothers, but that's interesting.
Yeah. Grace says, kit question: could the dash be swap out with a kit? Like if you want a literal kit, aka Knight Rider taking it over.
So there's 76 pieces to the car. And pretty much everything, well, not everything, but all the major components are switchable. The trick there is that the dash has electrical components, so it would most likely be from Oddfrog Entertainment. But yeah, we want to do stuff like that. I will say it would be a kit-like, because we're not, you know, had we done work for the 112 Garage on his Batmobile car, we would have said, no way, dude. You just can't mess around with that. Like, my contract for Mattel was over a 1/4 inch thick. It's like they do not mess around. So you just can't do any like products, or you can't do any almost exact products. But you know, if it's just a dashboard and you're adding things, like absolutely the dashboard is customizable.
Nice.
Or swappable, I should say, but yeah.
Rob says recreating the Predator 2 subway scene would be
good. That was a great movie.
Agent says, are there any big design or functionality changes that are to be expected upon funding of the Bandito?
One of them that we've already implemented just in the prototype is on the original design. The trunk did not go all the way over to the back grill, so to speak, of the car. It cut off right before it. So it was really hard to like lift up. And so this is just an example of one design change we've made. This is why you get a prototype made. We've extended the trunk to loop over, to follow the body and shape of the car, so that all you have to do is just grab it, you know, at the end of the bumper to lift up. So that's a design change. We're going to do something with the inside of the hinges, because we just don't like, we want a little better of a shutting mechanism going on there. There's a couple of things,
logos,
slight changes.
Yeah, there was like prominent logos on the side of the car.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Or the name Bandito was on the grill, which we now find out some people are a fan of. So we could offer like a whole grill with the Bandito logo or name written on there. But yeah, the Bandito, the grill is now flush. the little logo that was on the side, like that you would see on a Chevelle or a Chevy, is now gone. It's going to be like on the interior of the wheel, of the steering wheel. And what else was there? There's just like some design like lines that we can like accentuate to make it look stronger or meaner, or, you know what I'm saying? Simple things can be done to the design now that we've had the prototype for some time, that we've been able to look at, and we've talked to Johnny within the last couple of weeks, and he's all for, you know, making the changes we need. And
there's a little thing that on the inner workings of the car that we're going to change, just because we know people are going to be breaking it apart and putting it back together. Normally you'd never even see this part of the car, but where the there's a little piece that attaches where the dashboard goes that helps like hook the front of the hood on and stuff, and where it was connected is really thin, and it broke on our first one. And it's like, ooh. Yeah, it is printed resin, so it's going to be stronger and injection molded, but we're like, let's just thicken it a little bit. There's plenty of room around it, and we just don't want to mess around. The previous business I was in for my whole, you know, since my 20s until I went back to school, was hanging custom window coverings for people. And a lot of times stuff would come in the package broken. And if I could just fix it there, I saved even though they pay me to go back, it wasn't like doing a new job. So we really want to nip in the butt any kind of things that could be break, where we have to mess around. The car's designed to be taken apart. So we're really thinking about each piece has to be somewhat durable.
Right. So I guess another question I did have, like, so for the undercarriage of the car, is that going to be fully detailed out with some paint on it, or is it just going to be like a detail with just kind of like a flat color and then
no, it's fully sculpted mufflers. It's a fully sculpted.
I think that's about paint though. Paint apps. We like.
Oh
yeah. Well, I mean, so like, because somehow you know how some cars just have it like they have a plastic piece
color, just flush flat,
right. Or is it going to be like, you know, you kind of have some like the bumps of like it's one full plastic piece, but it's like has bumps where you can feel like.
Oh no, yeah, there will definitely be bumps, and you'll be able to see like a gas tank, and you'll see the muffler pipes.
Eddie, do you have the lowrider undercarriage there?
I have it here.
Is that a good undercarriage?
I mean,
some of them we had to build in 2 parts.
This one I could have, you know, I was messing with it, so you know I've been trying to customize this one beyond the points, but it it has the details sculpted on the bottom.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was kind of talking about.
You know, I was working on the front there, but yeah, there's decals, there's transmissions, there's gas. The Chevelle, the gas tank was actually in the back. You filled the gas by using, you know, but yeah, the details are all there.
As far as paint deco hits, we probably won't hit the undercarriage just to keep the cost down again. And like I said, we went with a matte texture and matte color for people to do their own paint. It's ready for your own paint.
I was just kind of curious about that, see if you were going to like do like the full paint underneath it, or if it's just going to be kind of like how you have it there.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, again, that, you know, the paint app, again, that's like a lot of companies. The more paint apps, the more you spend time, the more money it increases, the more it's going to cost to have people actually paint it or hit it with paint deco machine. You know what I'm saying? So it's something we can look into. We haven't had many questions about, you know, the color but the details are there, and you know, you can hit it with chrome markers, you can hit a little paint, you know, but it takes paint. But yeah, we can consider something like that.
Greg says more on kits. Two most obvious points are front grille lights and rear bumper lights. Are those designed for easy swap method?
So it's a little difficult. You will have to pull the entire car apart, because what will happen with the new bumpers is they will come with lights pre-installed and all the wires for you to connect them to the thing. But it is like you have to be a customizer kind of. But yeah, so if you look at the lowrider, it has a completely different grille and a completely different backlight situation where they're rounder and more old school. So when you get that kit, it will come pre-wired with the lights and everything. It'll just be your job to connect it to the switch.
Gotcha. Okay. Adrian asks, if you make it USB-C chargeable, maybe the port could be behind the license plate.
That's it. Or like Eddie said, the original gas thing would have been in the license plate, so that is absolutely the most natural place to put it.
No, you would put it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
all those kind of little details where you can make it as real as possible. Like when I was a kid, I loved that stuff. I hated when they put sound effects in it because I had a whole vocabulary of my own sound effects I like to use, and theirs were cheap sounding, you know? So all that little realism that we can add, it's a toy, but the batteries under the engine just feels cool. Yeah. And it's like, why not? Where else are you going to put them? If we put them in the trunk, it's not a real trunk, you know, and you can't put bodies in there.
Right. So the cover, so I'm assuming like with the cover is going to be like the engine piece itself over the batteries when you put it, or
there's the engine piece, and then there's a whole cover. There's a whole cover to it. Yeah. So it's an engine piece, and then there's a little lid. And
there's a battery cover that goes in and snaps down, and then you put the engine over it.
Okay. The engine snaps on top. Yeah.
Okay. Look, it sounds like you guys have done a lot of work in putting into this.
Yes,
thanks,
sir.
man.
You sold me on it.
Well, thank you,
Dante.
Man.
That means a lot to us, for real. Yeah. And I mean, I really appreciate the opportunity to speak to your community about the separation between us. Absolutely, we wanted to promote that car when we got a chance to work on it, but the version we built, like I think, got 2 posts or something, you know, and so it never really even saw Big Bad Toy Store or anything like that. And then we did a complete redesign, and you know, we just want to fulfill our promise of bringing a 1/12 scale vehicle to the community at this point, and didn't want to quit.
I'm glad you guys did
that.
And you all,
thank you.
From what you're telling us about it, put a lot of thought into it.
Yes, sir.
A lot of like heart into it as well. And I'm wishing and hoping for you guys to hit that mark now.
Thank you very much. All this helps, so thank you very much. We're more than happy to go on anybody's show, and we just appreciate the opportunity very much.
Yeah, and like I said, I just wanted more. It was more for me and the people who originally knew. It's like, hey, we need to know a little bit more before.
We're just trying to provide that peace of mind, you know.
Yeah,
right, and that's what it is, and that you all have. You will provide me a peace of mind.
Thank you.
Hopefully, everybody who's watching or who watching the replay, you provide them peace of mind. And then you also have Big Nerdy backing you as well.
Yeah,
and hopefully everything goes well. Where you'll have it on Big Bad Toy Store.
Big Nerdy's fantastic. He's exactly who he seems like he is in his videos. He's such a nice guy, and it's been a wonderful experience. And we're hoping we can help him out in any way possible too.
Awesome, because I always want to see independents make it.
We've got great ideas, and if we can get our first thing to market, we don't need to make $1 million. We just want to get to market so people can see what we're trying to do, and then we want to start designing characters that give a whole new, fresh approach to character design and storytelling, and create our own Disney kind of situation. You know, that's the dream.
Yeah. So, well, I'm wishing the best for you guys.
Thank you, Dante.
Thank you, Dante.
This has been huge for us. I really appreciate you having us on.
Oh, you know what? Hey, anything I can do to help and get a better explanation and better overview of what's going on, I'll try my best. That's the best way I can put it. I try.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for staying up so late with us, man. We're on the West Coast.
Hey, look, like I said, I'm usually up this late anyway, so it doesn't.
All right.
Grace says, did you put a trunk cover for the old extra tire or breakdown supply location?
You know, that's something we didn't even think of. A spare tire. I know what you're talking about. You lift the back on the inside, but it's not there. But hey, that's
I was going to ask.
There's not a lot of room. Not a lot of room in there.
Jack accessories, why not? You know, if we get more limits, we can start throwing in accessories like
a tire on the back trunk of the like Mad Max version. You know, would be cool.
Or if you really want to do it up, you can have it in a bad neighborhood and just have some cinder blocks underneath it and call it a day.
That Skyjo did that. Skyjo did one on cinder blocks. He did. It's so great.
Yeah, I'll be hot, but like, yo, who took the wheels off a car?
He was the first one to pull the wheels off, so that was
Oh,
really
wow.
cool.
Okay.
Yeah. And the first one to put dinosaurs on it. That's my favorite.
Yeah, does that Cadillac dinosaurs coming out?
I just thought that was genius.
You know what? This is just kind of a quick question too.
Sure.
Have you ever thought about doing like a convertible top for like next?
We have a model that we have a design.
Oh.
Johnny actually sent us over a design that it's a convertible crop top. It has, the black. It has a little piece that looks like a black part on, I think. But we have a convertible version that, it would be one more piece of tooling, but we do have a convertible body.
The lowrider is what inspired that, because it's like, oh, if you have a lowrider, like we were watching, like if you've seen our lowrider prototype, it's painted green, because I was like thinking back to Today Was a Good Day by Ice Cube, and he's driving this green lowrider. I'm like, we got to do that. It's Oddfrog, So we're like, oh, we also need a convertible. Okay.
Greg says the reason why I asked is that extra tire and jack or more Supernatural's baby, as that was where the Monsters Hunting supplies were kept.
Oh, that's interesting.
My little secret trap door in the back.
You know what's interesting about that though? Now that he mentions that, our trunk is so big that you could put a false bottom in it.
A little.
Now that I'm thinking that, and put a spare in there. That's really not a bad idea, because it's big enough for a false bottom.
Or if you have blade, that'd be his weapons kit.
Yeah. Well, we've got Eddie did a shot of the trunk just loaded with gear, and it looks like a blade trunk at that point. Yeah.
That'd be dope right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if they do a new Blade movie with Wesley Snipes, we're way ahead of the game on that.
I don't know if we're ever going to get a Blade movie.
Oh, man. I just saw Deadpool Wolverine over the weekend, and I'm like, oh, we got to do another Blade movie. That was the first successful Marvel movies.
Yeah. But I doubt if we ever get a Blade movie with everything that's going on with it right now.
Yeah.
So, it's a lot going on with it right now.
Yeah.
I can't get too much into it because one of them was a guest on this show. So
oh, that's awesome.
Wow. It was awesome at the time, but now it's like, oh man, don't make me look foolish here.
Oh, right after the 112 garage thing.
Yeah.
But that's a risk you take, putting yourself out there like that, Dante, and people understand. I would hope people understand.
Some do, I'll say it is
what it is.
It is what it is.
Definitely. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir,
hanging with me, and explaining and giving.
I'm gonna give you a salute just because you have the cap shirt on. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you. So where can everybody find you guys at?
www.oddfrogentertainment.com is where the car is up for pre-order. Also on nerdzoic.com. In fact, we encourage people to go buy it there. He's very good at this, and he is a retailer, and we want to throw support his way. Mm-hmm. So oddfrogentertainment.com, nerdzoic.com is where you can purchase the car. You can also purchase the car on shopify.com under Oddfrog Entertainment. And then Eddie is the 112th Street Chop Shop on Instagram. I'm Oddfrog Entertainment on Instagram, and we are also Oddfrog Entertainment on YouTube.
Well, you hit them all, bro. And 112th Street Chop Shop on Facebook.
And X, but no one knows who we are on there.
I don't know what that is.
X is a hard place to navigate.
Whew, yeah.
We'll figure it out one day. Thanks again, Dante. We appreciate
thank you, Dante.
We appreciate everything you've done and all the questions. And if you get any more messages, any questions, shoot them our way. But if anyone has any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. We're just two dudes trying to make it happen. That's all it is, man.
Yep.
And Greg has summed it up. And I couldn't say anybody. He's like, nice to hear from you guys in person. Clear as the air. Answer questions, share info on the car as well.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you.
So hopefully, if you catch this on replay, hopefully all your questions are answered. But as you said, Eddie and Kelly are available to reach out to. If you don't feel comfortable, you want to send me the questions as always, that's fine too. I have no problem with that, and I'll forward your questions over. So thank you again, guys, for answering the questions.
Thank you.
I know it's kind of like I was hesitant, and I know it's kind of hesitant in you guys did, but it's just like as long as we got clear what was going on, now it's a whole brand new start, something new that's come up.
Absolutely.
That we can have faith in and support.
Absolutely. We will not quit. 2 years later, 2.5 years later, we're still trying to get this car out. We are not going to stop. I would hope that people could see that we are very serious about this. We have everything lined up to deliver you the best action vehicle ever made, and that's all we're trying to do.
Dope.
Dope.
All right, everybody. Thank you for the special Tuesday night episode, because usually I'm usually on Friday nights. But yes, hopefully I'll be back this Friday for you. Talk about some toys again, and I know what's going on in the toy world as always. But I hope you all have a great week. Stay safe. Happy hunting. And until next time.
Adios.